Hello again, everyone. It's Bobo the Vulture. It's time for more Let's Play Gran Turismo 2 Simulation Mode. And, last time I had forgotten about the existence of the A-Class International. Oh, no. I knew the A-Class International. That one's obviously there, right on the list. I forgot about the existence of the Super License. So, the Super License is basically a timed run through some of the game's trickier courses with particularly nice, fast cars and things like that. And considering I don't even remember the precise layouts of a lot of the courses in this game, I'm going to go ahead and not worry about it for right now, because I think the Super License you only really need for like 1 or 2 races, towards the end anyways. There's going to be a lot of races we'll be able to compete in without the Super License right now. Which means, excitement, it's time, excitement, to go looking for cars. Woo! So, I tell you what, first let's go to West City. We'll look at German and Italian cars. Let's look at the Fiats. I've already had one person, I believe it was Piano Keys, mention that the, was it the Barchetta or the Coupe that was the new dream car? Broom yellow. It's pretty cool looking, I'll grant you. Front-wheel drive, but, you know. Or was it the Barchetta? I can't remember now. I actually think the Barchetta is pretty nice looking. But it is also front-engine, front-wheel drive, which isn't necessarily the worst thing that can happen to a vehicle in the world, but I don't know. But while I'm here, there is a special event. What event is it? It is the 500 meeting. It is for Fiat 500s of varying types. Normal style and Opel Racing style. So, let me see. How much were the Fiat 500s? Wow. You get an old school one for less than 10 grand, but I bet without any modifications it would not be very fast. It would have 22 horsepower. That is not very fast. Okay. So that's all good to know. There are other varieties of cars, special events and things. They have the 106 challenge. Excuse me, for normal style and racing style. But you can see the 106s are expensive anyway. So let's not even worry about it. I thought maybe I could get one of the new style Fiat 500s for less than 10 grand and then be able to like use it in some other events. Actually, no, this isn't what I wanted to do either. This is where I'll eventually end up. But I just realized I haven't shown you guys yet the variety of races that are in the game. There's rally events, there's special events, there's endurance. The Gran Turismo League is the same kind of world championship, I think. Oh, no. They have national championships for this. B and A. So, Japan Nationals. And you'll notice they have horsepower numbers there. Those are the limit. You can't have a car with higher horsepower in it than that in the race. It won't let you enter it. And the little movie button will let you see, oh, this is the kind of thing that can enter that event. So you'll see, like, 197, I mean, for that they're not even looking for... They're not even looking for, like, base model, like, Skylines or anything else like that. That's supposed to be sort of your more modest racing cars. They have Japan ones, they have US ones. The US ones are going to have higher horsepower limits because they're all muscle cars. Also, the car is generally going to be more expensive. French Nationals, the same way. Okay, so you got the Nationals for various countries. You've got the Euro League and the Pacific League, which is kind of fun. Your European, your fancy European cars there, look at them. And these ones, obviously, they're looking for the best. They're looking, well, I mean, that's not the absolute best. because there are ones that are unlimited, but these are the high-level horsepower-y, super crazy leagues. Then you've got GT2 International, the Gran Turismo World League, A-Class International. See, even for this event, you don't need the super license. Let's look at the special events. You don't need a license to compete in the Sunday Cup. You don't need a license to compete in some of the events of the Clubman Cup. See, these are just like no rules, just right. But basically, they're going to be super rinky-dink cars. Unless you bring in a super powerful car, which of course you can on these. The Clubman Cup. The prizes are a little bit prizier. You have your standard front-engined, front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, and mid-engine challenge. I don't know if there was a mid-engine challenge in Gran Turismo 1. It's mid-engine rear-wheel drive. It's not just mid-engine challenge. I actually got real cheesed off once because I had specifically bought a mid-engine all-wheel drive car to compete in this, not realizing that it wasn't just mid-engine. It has to also be just mid-engine and rear-wheel drive. Anyways. Lightweight K-Car Cup. They're not specifically talking about the Chrysler cars of the 80s. But these are for super tiny city cars. City cars with the sheeted walk. Now, will it tell you what is eligible? I don't think there's a listing of eligible cars here. Get in a car. See, the game wants me to keep things moving. There's specifically ones for luxury sedans, muscle cars, historic cars, convertibles, compact cars, station wagons, yeah, the 80s Sports Car Cup, the Grand Touring Car Trophy, and the Pure Sports Car Cup. And line up for all A international events. Gran Turismo All-Star, Super Touring Trophy, GT 300 and GT 500, I believe, are equivalents to a variety of touring car race level in Japan. But yeah, we have fancy. Tune Turbo, number one, is probably going to be like the Mega Speed thing. Now, endurance races. All night long. All night. Now, your starting events, it would look like, for this level of competition. It's not the Apricot Hill one. Probably the 30-lap run of Trial Mountain. I might do that fairly early on in my Gran Turismo Carrero. And there are rally events. These are all just individual tracks. Now I'm kind of confused. I'm trying to remember why you even need the super license. I'm sure it'll come up eventually. But either way, clearly we need a car, and right now I'm just dicking around. So let's go look for a car in East City. Eastman. He came from the East. First of all, let's look at what kind of special events they have. Because it's always nice, too, when you're looking at cars to get, think about things that you could use to enter in more than one type of race meeting. The MRS. Those things are cool, but I'm pretty sure they're too expensive for us to just get now. Get a Celica of some variety. New and old Celicas. We could afford a Starlet, but is that what we really want? We could afford a Vitz too, but I think a Vitz is a prize car that you can get at some point in time. Starlet 3-door Turbo S. I like it, if I'm honest. But what about this 82 one? That's going to be rear-wheel drive, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Doesn't have the same horsepower, but surely we can fix that. And it's jetliner silver? Pretty sure that's green. Still, that's kind of cool. I kind of dig that. A 93 Super Turbo. Okay. They have MR2s. These are some of the... Oh, I get an old GT4 Celica. That's nice. Nice. I like the old... The one thing that I kind of enjoyed about this game is that they reached a little bit farther back into the history of, like, funky old 80s cars. Which, you know, are cars that I would see around when I was a little kid, because it was the 80s. Aristo, which I believe is sold in the U.S., or was sold in the U.S. as the Lexus GS. At that time, I know there's probably still something they sell called a GS, but it's not. Oh, a Toyota 2000 GT. You'll notice it's very expensive. It's because this car is a very rare car. Not that many of them were sold. But yeah, okay. I'll have to remember that those Starlets are there. Okay, bearing in mind the Starlet, let's go to the Mitsubishi dealership. What kind of special Mitsubishi events do you have? You have Mirage Cup and an Evolution meeting. Let's look at the Mirage Cup. Racing style and random style. Opa random style. Okay. Do you have the used Mirages? Only from like the 90s. They made Mirages back in the 80s too. I think you can get those in Gran Turismo 4, maybe? I'm sort of trying to remember the difference between one and the other. You can get FTOs. Those are really shapely and neat-looking cars, I have to admit. They never sold them in the US, so you never got to see them around, but there's another type of Mirage. Ah, this is the slightly newer Mirage. 172 horsepower, that's not bad. A Pajero Mini. Pajeros are SUVs. Yeah, okay, I guess the Pajero Mini is sort of a mini SUV city car kind of thing. And of course, then you get, ooh, the Galant VRG Touring. Remember how much fun we had with that in the other game? Rowan, you don't have to put on it that line. So those are there. And of course, 3000 GTs, you remember these. 3000 GDs, you remember. Yeah. Obviously, we can't afford those right now. So let's not even bother looking. At this point, I'm thinking that my favorite option thus far is the Starlets. Let's look at the Daihatsus. There's special Daihatsu events. What kind of special Daihatsu events are there? The Midget Contest! Who's the best midget? I love the Daihatsu Midget. It's a one-seater mini pickup truck that, like, you could use to, like, you could stack pallets of stuff in the back. Just purely work thing. Mid-engined, technically, because you sit on the engine. Mirror challenge. That looks kind of boring, but doable. Basically, there's no such thing as a super expensive Daihatsu in this game, so... I mean, that said, probably any of the new ones would still be out of my price range. They have a Daihatsu rally car, I think. Yeah. $1 million, forget it, buddy. Yeah, the special editions in this game go from 500,000 credits to 2 million. Let's look at what kind of used Daihatsus we got going here. Daihatsu Mira. TRX. Puro White. Puro Resu. Daihatsu Move! That thing's just cool. all these little tiny super square boxy things, most of those are going to be eligible for the K-Car Championship, especially the ones that are like capped around 63 horsepower. And it's just something to do with the laws in Japan, and basically there's like a separate tax and insurance bracket that you'd have to go into. Oh, this is the whole. They don't have a used car for. All these are in our price range. Alright. I guess we've looked at all of them now. Maybe a Mira. Maybe that Mira just to be able to take out the Mira challenge. Was there a move challenge? I didn't notice. No, Storia. These are all brand, like, make or model names that I don't really recognize that well because they don't. Yeah, Tamikara is too cool for having used cars. Starting out in 1967 as Tomita Auto, Tamikara later established itself as a brand name and in 1988 succeeded in introducing Tamikara M30, Japan's first fully modified high-performance car. Since then, Tamikara has continued to produce these top-of-the-line cars, and in 1997 manufactured and marketed its original sports car, the Z. Admittedly, the Z is cool-looking. The ZS. Or sorry, Z. The front aspect to it is a little goofy, but it's sort of goofy in a fun old-school way. Anyways, yeah, we can't afford to be dealing with Tamikara. Let's check out the Mazda. The Mazdas. Surely I'll be getting a Mazda eventually. Roadster Trophy, Demio Race, AZ1 Challenge, and RX-7 meeting. I know what all those things are, so let's just go back and take a look at the used models available. Oh, an old Protege. Buddy of mine used to have an old Protege. Not quite the same age as this one. Interplay 4-door sedan. That 4-door sedan released the original Fallout. Protege GTX. This is the fancy all-wheel drive cool version. That was one thing in Japan, like, especially in the 80s and into the early 90s, through a lot of the 90s. Their whole big thing was we're going to make turbocharged cars with all-wheel drive, and that is going to be our whole raison d'etre. Interesting. I forgot about the 323 coupe 4-door thingies. They sold something in the U.S. called the 323. I think it was a 323. But it was not that car at all. It was basically a 2-door hatchback version of a Protege. And we could get a Miata. Yay! Miatas. They're so cool. They're cool, folks. And a variety of Demios. Mazda Cosmo. What was the Mazda Cosmo? Alright, it was a cool-looking sort of luxury coupe thing that I believe had a rotary engine. Yuno's Cosmo debuted as Mazda's luxury specialty coupe in 1990, the peak of the flashy bubble economy years. Most noteworthy was the car's Model 13B twin-rotor power unit, 227 horsepower, 207 pound-feet. The culmination of long years of maturation. Also available, for the first time ever in a street car, was a 3-rotor model, the twin-turboed 20B, which delivered power to spare. It's the best car ever. 276 at 6,500 RPM, with the torque of 297 pound-feet at 3,000 RPM. Those are pretty low revs. Well, for the torque, I guess. Yeah, that's all right. This powerful engine was matched by richly elegant styling befitting a Class 3 displacement specialty car. I don't know what Class 3 is. It's a Japanese thing, I think. The round, concept car-like interior made ample use of real leather for a truly luxurious feel. The Cosmo matured with minor changes in August 1991, September 1992, and March 1994. But in the wake of the bursting of the economic bubble, the 3-rotor model was discontinued in 1995, followed by the entire Cosmo line in 1996. Yeah, there was it didn't affect much of the rest of the economy the same way, but like in the 90s, there was a big recession that especially hit Japan. So I imagine a lot of the sort of local fancy cars had bad times then. This car combined the graceful elegance that only a luxury car could provide with power that comes roaring to life with the press of the accelerator. It was relatively light, with the all-wheel drive automatic transmission model weighing in at only 3,600 pounds. However, the double wishbone front suspension and multi-link rear suspension were tuned for luxury comfort more than performance, so care should be taken if attempting high speeds in stock trim. Oh, well, that's a nice, nice thing to warn us of. We could afford an RX-7, and that's actually very tempting. I believe the Infini 3 is the best / goodest version of the late 80s to early 90s era RX-7s. Before you get the, well, no, maybe that was the Type R. Maybe the Type R was better. Oh, no, that's just the next model year. Right. But anyways, those are the Mazdas. There were some interesting Mazdas. Might get that RX-7. Let's look at the Nissans. Check out the special Nissan event. There's a Nissan event at your Pulsar Cup. Pulsar Cup, you guys. Pulsars only. No licenses. Oh, man. I think I might know what I'm getting. Skyline R34 model. And Sylvia's 180SXs. The March is a little tiny car. In case they're very common in much of the world. I'm saying that March, like what a March is, sort of for my domestic market to me fans. Infiniti G20s were kind of neat. I think they were. They're basically a nice four-door sedan, Infiniti badge version of the Sentra SER, which was a cool Sentra. Yes, the Pulsar GTI, it exists. Although there is this R32 Skyline as well. Chad! Woo, woo, woo! Chad! Woo, woo! So that was the Type M. What is the difference between the Type M and the Type S? I guess how powerful they are. Okay. And then there are Sylvias. Oh man, what color is it? It's red! It's active red! Oh, I might just have to pick up a Pulsar, you guys. Pulsar phone. Okay, here's the information on it. It's truly staggering. The compact body accelerates if it's being pulled by a huge force. I'm going to go ahead and allow you to read this on your own if you want to see it. Realize I could be wasting a lot of time reading all of these descriptions, but I'll put the text up there. I'm not going to put on different characters for everyone, too. Suzuki! Suzuki. There's the Escudo Pikes Peak car, the thing that we would need if we wanted to totally trounce everything ever. The Alto Works Cup and the Cappuccino Cup. Oh, there's a special one-make cup for the Cappuccino, which is this little circular grill there in the middle. It makes me think the car's going like... Anyways, so, Cappuccino. That's a K-style car that is... Yeah, there's the Alto Works Cup. Alright. Servo? Here's a servo. A mode servo. We're in the servo mode. Okay. Don't know what's going on there. Wagon R's. Capsino. Which I think is cappuccino. Yeah. A little too expensive for us to be buying. But yeah, it was a little tiny two-door roadster that also qualified for the Japanese K car. And there's an Alto Works. This is a kind of car that we might be looking at for that championship. But that is one of the things I enjoy about this game. I like taking the older cars and tuning them up so that they are better than the newer cars that the computer might pick. Alright, let's check out Subaru. There is an Impreza challenge and an Alcio challenge. I love the, I love the Subaru SVX, which is the Alcyon. And of course Imprezas, we know Imprezas. It's for regular model Imprezas only, that's interesting. Got some legacy wagons. These are all too expensive for us to be picking up. SVX LSI. SUV. SVU. It's a pretty powerful car with pretty cool all-wheel drive and stuff. I kind of like it. The S4. Is it way more powerful? I think it's the same. But either way, I can't afford either one right now, so it doesn't matter. We're going to go look at Honda, and then we're just going to have to decide between getting a Pulsar or an old Starlet. Event. Beat the Beat! Haha! Honda Beat was another tiny little two-door. It was a mid-engine car, though. Civic Race. We all know Civics. We all love Civics. Everybody has a Civic. I actually do have a Civic. I know not everyone does, but NSX trophy. That's cool. Type R meeting would be for a variety of different cars, because Type R is just a trim line that Honda puts a lot of their cars in. Sort of their, like, lightweight, you could go autocross with this type of thing. And the S2000 challenge for the popular, well, it wasn't that popular, two-door Roadster model. Get an old Prelude. Like an old Prelude. Get a CRX. Could get a Civic Del Sol, but why? I could get a Honda Beat. There's one right there. What color is this Beat? It's Blade Silver. Well, it's to be thought about, because we'll eventually need a Beat for the challenge of Beat the Beat. And there are a bunch of Civics, Preludes, all those sorts of things. You know what? It's probably a terrible idea. But since I got the Pulsar as my first car last time, I'm going to go ahead and get a 1982 three-door turbo S Toyota Starlet. I'm going to read up on it. The second generation Starlet, released in February 1978, is considered the originator of the classic hatchback look that still endures in today's Starlets. In contrast to current Starlets, which of course are front-engine, front-drive cars, the KP61 featured a front-engine rear-drive layout and inherited from the earlier KP47, and was in fact the most powerful front-engine rear-drive Starlet model. The car's 1.3-liter overhead valve, inline 4-cylinder Model 4KU engine is at 71 horsepower maximum. Wimpy by today's standards, but still delivered excellent performance because of the unbelievably light 1,560-pound weight, thus ensuring adequate power when needed. Front strut suspension is combined with 4-link rear suspension. The car's chassis was effective, if not spectacular. Features included combined in excellent harmony to create a truly fun-to-drive car upon close inspection. All the requirements for driving fun are in place, including compact, lightweight chassis, front-engine rear-drive layout, responsive handling. This is why the KP51 Starlet, or 61, has, since its inception, been widely appreciated as a small but formidable car. You know what? Okay, having read that, I still think I'm going to get it, but I'll look at this one too, just to sort of see. It's black. I don't really like the way black cars show up in this game, the way they, provided proved popular as a basic car with excellent driving performance. The This is a truly energetic sports hatchback worthy of its unofficial nickname of Speedy. What? Its round, compact, and lightweight body, Starlet already had more than impressive specs, but the turbo became a veritable bucking bronco by combining a powerful turbo charger with the same suspension as the non-turbocharged SI. In short, the engine completely outstripped the suspension. For a minor change, boosted power output, while also upgrading the suspension for somewhat less unwieldy handling. It became an even peppier hatchback than its predecessors. They actually seem to be underhandedly complimenting it there. I'm going to go ahead and pick up this Starlet as my first car. Purchase? Yes! Get in the car! Awesome! So yes. And I tell you what, folks, having gone through that and made all of those decisions and just bouncing around, this is going to be, I think, an entire, half hour's video worth of just shopping. And you're going to like it. You might not like it, I don't know. But when we come back next time, folks, I'm actually going to... Now, this is video, 6? By video 7, we may actually be driving our own car in a race. This is Bobo the Vulture. This is Let's Play Gran Turismo 2. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye now.